Hello everyone, this is King Grats here. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Back with another end of season analysis video for the 2025 NHL Stanley Cup Playoffs. Last night, the Vegas Golden Knights were officially eliminated in the second round by the Edmonton Oilers in 5 games. Edmonton will move on to the Western Conference Final to face the winner between the Dallas Stars and the Winnipeg Jets. And for Vegas, their offseason officially begins now. So, looking into the postseason for Vegas and how their run went, I'm going to be trying to explain in this video 3 reasons why the Golden Knights lost this series to Edmonton and what exactly does their offseason outlook look like for this summer. So, number 1, the first reason is the goalie duel. So, Adin Hill, being the primary goalie for Vegas, obviously was struggling across the duration of this postseason, and it really started in the first round against Minnesota. There was a pair of blowout games for the Wild in which Hill was giving up a lot of goals in high danger areas and also in some places that you probably need a save, such as in the mid-range or maybe from the point or whatnot. And I think that was really where you see the early warning signs regarding Adin Hill's performance for this postseason. Vegas was able to get through that series because they were able to outperform offensively Minnesota, but in the Edmonton series, things really began to struggle. At least the last 2 to 3 games, Edmonton was starting to maintain more offensive pressure on Adin Hill to make a lot of saves. If you look at his numbers, basically Hill's overall totals for this entire postseason are not that great. His goals against average is still pretty high at close to 3 goals a game. His save percentage is at .887, which isn't great for a starting goalie for the playoffs. He played in every game for Vegas, so it doesn't look like he got pulled really. And he faced a lot of shots, notably in the high danger areas and especially in the mid range, that definitely went through. And I think that compared to other series, for Adin Hill, this was a huge opportunity for him to maintain his dominance for Vegas and recapture that form that he had a couple years ago. Considering that the Oilers were already relying on Calvin Pickard coming into this series because Stuart Skinner heavily underperformed against the LA Kings in the first round, I thought that Hill really should have taken advantage of the opportunity here, and he just kind of failed at it. I mean, there are obviously maybe some goals that you can't really blame him for, but at the same time, maybe there are instances where you kind of hope that he got a save or two and maybe was a little bit more clutch to help out the Golden Knights, who probably struggled a little bit too much on the offensive side of the game. Number 2 is the lack of offense from Vegas. There are a few instances in this series where it looked like the Golden Knights just kind of struggled to generate any kind of offense, and this was whether, you have star players like Jack Eichel and Riley Smith, Ivan Barbashev, Mark Stone. Like, these guys kind of struggle to generate much. I think this was most notable in Game 4, where Vegas only had, like, I don't know, maybe 7 shots through like a period and a half or something, and that was really kind of my indication that maybe they're just kind of, they weren't starting on time, or they didn't have like the proper motivation going into a game or something. I'm not really sure. And at the same time, their bottom 6 also struggled. I thought that, they probably could have gotten better additions over the previous year, and maybe guys like Victor Olofsson didn't really like fit into the system well. They did get some good contributions from guys like Pavel Dorofeyev, for example, but Dorofeyev, for instance, got injured, and their reinforcements didn't make up for that lack of production. So that was a serious loss for Vegas. I really thought if they could get at least a couple more goals from guys like Eichel and Stone, and if their bottom 6 showed up a little bit more, and if they got better production out of them, they probably would have been able to keep up in the series with Edmonton here. For the defense, I thought things were fine. They were getting good production across the postseason from guys like Alex Pietrangelo, Nicholas Hague, Shea Theodore, etc. So I'm not really going to blame the defense here, especially because they had to have a lot of defensive responsibilities, of course. But really, I think the forwards is where they really needed to step up on the offensive game, and they didn't get that. All right, number 3 is the special team battle. The thing is here is that Vegas, surprisingly enough, actually had better percentages in both the penalty kill and the power play against Edmonton over the course of this entire postseason. But one thing in particular was that Vegas was getting a lot more power play opportunities. By the end of this postseason run, they were averaging around 2.8 power play opportunities per game, which is huge compared to Edmonton's just 2.18. So if you think about it, I really thought that maybe the special team battle was maybe very crucial here. If Vegas was able to somehow get some more success on the power play, then they probably would have been able to stick around in the series a little bit longer here. And at the same time, their penalty kill was still fairly good. Their defensive structure was mostly strong, and they were able to maintain Edmonton's offense over time. But I think it maybe kind of waned over the series. But if they at least capitalized on the man advantage a few more instances, then I genuinely think that Vegas probably could have extended the series by at least 1 or 2 games at bare minimum. So now let's look at the offseason. According to Puckpedia, at least, if I look at Vegas's payroll going into next season, they do have a number of UFAs on the market. I'm reading Riley Smith, Brandon Saad, Victor Olofsson, Tanner Pearson on the forward group. Their back end is pretty much secured until at least 2026-27, and their goaltending is pretty much constant as well because Aiden Hill does get a contract extension that kicks in next season, and Ilya Samsonov will be a free agent at the end of this year, who they brought in as their backup. But that's basically all I can say there. I think the one thing that Vegas should probably try and do is try to improve their bottom six. So trying to get guys that can bring in a little bit more of an offensive scoring touch and just have that sort of comparability to what they had in 2023 of guys who were opportunistic on offense but also had a stronger defensive system, better forechecking, perhaps have that more aggressive style of play that got them to a championship there. And hopefully they can maintain some health in guys like Mark Stone and Jack Eichel over the season, and just hope that those guys can maybe get a stronger supporting cast to help themselves out. If you want to look at the goaltending side of things, Aiden Hill is most likely still going to be their starting goaltender for next season. I don't know what they get as a backup. Either they go again with another cheap option, or they try and get a guy like Samsonov again, where they try to get a prove it deal in the hopes that the guy can maybe rebound and help the team out in the short term. I'm not sure where they go from there. But honestly, the biggest thing should be obviously to improve their bottom six, maybe get another improvement in the top six forward group to help out guys like Eichel, Stone, etc. And maybe they just go from there. But I'm not too worried about Vegas falling apart here. It does show signs that, maybe what they did in the offseason wasn't necessarily the best thing and that they could have probably done better in that department. And obviously, they just need to tap into free agency a lot better. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all I got to say. So, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see how some of the other second round series go over the next couple of days. We might see another video or two up in the next 24 to 48 hours, depending on what happens tonight and tomorrow night. So yeah, stick around for that. But if you like what you see, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content if you like this one, and I'll see you all in my next video.